It was just after 12 midnight on the 20th of October 2015. Ngibhala ama-assignment, yabona, ngidlala music, speaking sami, I'm trying to finish the assignment. And I hear abantu abaningi bahlabela, and I think the ngoma bethi iyo Solomo and khala namavuvuzela iyo Solomo yabo, and then switched off my speaker, to hear what's going on outside. And as I switched off the speaker sami, then there were bang at the door. Abantu nje bashaya izivalo kakhulu, banging at the door. I got scared and ngaphuma erumini. Mangiphuma, the other guys engihlala nabo eRes nabo baphuma emarumini abo. You can tell abanye babo they were already sleeping. And we're hearing those bangs on the doors, And saya downstairs eRes, because I was staying. If we are the Rhodes University, there are many residences which are called up the hill residences, and one of them is Colin Bowles, and that's where I used to stay. And we went down to the reception area. As we, showed up in the reception area, residence, there are lots of people at the door, and they are banging, Vulani. Student leadership, Baseres, Housecom, they open the door and they're asking what's going on. And I noticed one of the guys who was also in my politics class, Luaz was, hey, Thokozani wazana. And then I came towards the door and he said, Silwela amalungelo ethu singabafundi ninanilele. They forced their entry. And they were just knocking on the doors, banging the doors. And after saying bajoinile, I noticed, that the modus operandi abayisebenzisile ukuskipha eRes yam eColin Bowles, it's the same they are using kwamanye ma-resident. Because now I was with them and we were knocking and banging the doors. Rosa Parks, which is a female resident, and the guys stood back, and a girls activist went to the front and were the one who were pursuing a house call me as a Rosa Parks to say they must release the girls. White students, colored, Indians, and of course us Black students who were majority at the time. We all came together, male, females, and we were protesting and we were singing together, singing this one song which was the theme of the night, Iyo Solomoni, Owabulawa ngamabhunu, and I can still remember the lyrics, and we were singing loudly, going from one residence to another, and it was just going on and on, from one residence, same modus operandi to get the students out of their residence to join the protest. And finally, bese siqede ngama-residents down campus, we went to the drama department, which is the main entrance to the university. That's where the vice chancellor, the people working at the main admin building, abomama who are working to cook and clean at the residences and the dining halls, that's where they enter, and that's where we blocked the main entrance to the university, which is close to the drama department. And I think that's where things got out of hand. And so while we're at the drama department, or the main entrance of the university, the student leaders, they took turns climbing on top of the table, which we took, I think, at the drama department waiting area, and we used it to block entrance into the university. And they were taking turns explaining, why are we protesting? What exactly do we want from the university and from the Minister of Education? Because we also understood ukuthi lento esiyilwayo does not only concern our university management, but it's bigger than that. So it was explained properly that a Rhodes in a MIP, which stands for minimum initial payment, leyo mali leyo, if uhlale res, then obviously studying at Rhodes,
Charter says the doors of education shall be open for all. Asinamali, Dr. Mabizela.
In which they will charge you for the entire year, uhlale res, and half of the tuition fee. And that year, 2015, when the protest, or what led to the protest, it was the announcement of a 10% increment into the fees. And we just knew that some of our friends won't come back to varsity. It was just going to be too much. Around 5 a.m. in the morning, because we're there, well, almost the entire night singing and, deliberating on the memorandum we need to submit to the university management. And around 5 a.m., and then like plenty of them and some white police officers came to the student leaders who were at the front. And they said, guys, you've blocked a public road and you have to remove all these tables. And then, the student leaders deliberated with police, and finally we stopped that fire we've started, and some of the things were removed because they threatened to arrest us, and the vice chancellor started addressing us. Basically, when the vice chancellor spoke to us, he just said, my hands and the rest of the university management hands are tied because we need budget to run this institution and to be a competitive university without increasing the fees. We have to increase the fees by 10%, and there's nothing I can do. If you want something to be done, at least involve the Minister of Higher Education and Training, which at the time was Blade Nzimande. And after the deliberation we had with the Vice Chancellor, we could just see that we're being shut down by the university management. Basically, what they were saying, we got less money from government as a subsidy, and we need more money, and that money will come from you. Our hands are tied. We're going to increase the fees. And if that means some of you will go home and not complete their degrees, tough luck. And then Dr. Mabizela went to speak to some SABC journalists with ENCA, and spoke to them for quite some time. And after that, I can see how down students were from the moment started with the protest a night before. It was no longer jovial. They were no longer vuvuzelas, and we're just now demoralized. We're just standing there, sort of waiting for someone to come with an idea on Senzan Manje, what do we do now? And I remember I didn't care whether they are police and some people, journalists taking videos, and I just shouted.